Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to do a settings video for EZFN Season 7. I haven't done a settings video, so this is going to be my first time, so let's get straight into the settings. So, we start off with the video settings. I don't use window full screen, this is basically your preference, really. But I always use Epic for view distance and everything on else slow because I have a 350 graphics card, so it's not that great. So I just keep everything on low, but if I do want to have it, it'll try on far. I always put it on Epic, apart from shadows, because shadows gives you a less advantage really to see enemies clearly. So I just leave that off. So we obviously motion blur. Make sure that's off because motion blur is absolutely not good to be able to see enemies. So that's my preference, but tell me your preference down in the comments section. So let's go to the controller settings, because I am in fact on controller. So I like to L2. Well, it's not really L2, so my settings are like this. It's very low. As you can see, I use that low. Then scope, I put it low as well, so I can hit an enemy from far away. And building sensitivity is 1.5. I know that's a bit high, but we don't have edit mode sensitivity, so this is why I have my build sensitivity all the way up. So if we go to the bottom bits, I always have my HUD scale as small as possible, so I could see enemies really good if everything's not great. So I always have that low. Going to the control options now. I have toggle sprint off, I have sprint by default on, I have sprint cancels reloading off, tap to search, I have it on because instead of holding it, so if you get shot, you can easily let go, and you might calculate and it'll waste some time. Toggle targeting I have off, reset button choice I have on, aim assist I have on of course, I have edit mode sensitivity, edit mode aim assist off because if you have it on, when you edit, it'll lock onto a player when you're not editing the wall, so that's why I have it off, so I have free camera action. Turbo build obviously on, doesn't really matter about that. Auto material change I have on, controller auto run yes, up open doors I have on as well. Auto pick up weapons I have off. I have sort consumables to right, so that means consumables always go to the far right as possible, and it's very useful, so I don't have to go in my inventory and change it, so that'll do that for me. Obviously build sensitivity, build immediately of course, controller edit hold time of course I have to low as possible so I can edit a lot faster. I am one of those people who just like editing so much, so that's why I have all that down. I have vibration off. The reason for that is vibration is absolutely annoying. Really annoying, because if you're shooting someone, your controller or whatever you use will vibrate, and it's very annoying. You lose your mobility to shoot people, so that's why I have it off, so I can keep a steady gunfire. This is the same as you in replays. You can either have it on. Replays don't really work, so I'm just going to turn that off. So that's my front settings for right there. If we go to brightness, this is all your personal preference as well. I used to have it up here, but now sometimes I just keep it normal or just put it up, so it's either if you want. For me, I always have it at the top. So the volume is the same as really. I have obviously the music volume when you're in the lobby and shite. I always have that down because I do not like it when I'm talking to someone. Sound effects volume, I always have it just the default one. Voice chat, I always have it all the way up, even though we can't really use voice chat at this minute. Cinematics, that's all your fault. Well, it's all your choice, should I say. So that's that. So if we go to the colorblind sense accessibility, color corrections, I always have it on. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I always have it all the way up, so it's brightening my game up. The input, make sure you have these off. If you're playing on keyboard and mouse, make sure this is on. And if you want to ignore the controller in case you hit your controller, make sure you have this on. But for me, I'm on controller, so I always keep them off. Visual sound effects. Well, I would use this, but the problem with this, if I turn it on and go into a game, I will not have any sound whatsoever. So I always keep this off. But in a future season, like I think it's season 8, you can turn visual sound effects on, but your sound will stay on the exact same time. So that's why I have this off on season 7. So on controller custom binds, when we move to season 4, it's going to be not as great because we don't have the custom binds weren't a thing back in that day. So I'm hoping that we can have a private custom bind thing we can add in ourselves. So let's hope for that. Anyway, let's get back to the settings. So I use custom binds. So I'm on a PS4 controller, so I also use the PS4 controller and all that. And what I do is I use L for edit. I use this for aim down signs. Really common, really. The only thing what's different then from Builder Pro is I have the edit changed. Well, the sprint and that changed to just edit on the build, but I don't know why it's on that. And I've switched the switch mode. Well, it would have been switch mode / edit, but if you're edit on another different thing, make sure you have this to a switch mode or whatever you really want it to be. But that's my controller right there. Right, if we go to dead zones, right, I have my dead zones all the way low because dead zone is the worst thing ever. Season 4, you can't change your dead zone, so it's not going to be great when I move to season 4, but I will. You never know, they might add a pack for that. Anyway, I use just the lowest possible dead zone. It's easy to handle for me, but this is basically your personal preference, how you know how to use a controller or whatever you use, but I use all the way low. So this doesn't really matter really. So this doesn't. That's all my settings for 7.40. So that's my settings. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this settings guide, well, not really a set. Do I class it as a settings guide? I'll say both actually, settings guide and my settings personally. Anyways, guys, if you've enjoyed this, please thank you and hit that like button and subscribe and turn noties on. When you buy uploads, you'll know. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I will peace out.